Welcome, everybody. Dr. Christine here. So glad you are with me. And I am doing a quad stream. Can you believe it? That's right, a quad stream. And I'm very happy that you are joining me. I wanted to share with you some important information here. And before I get to that, I just want to know if you are interested in this book right here. If you're interested in this book, there we go. It's my masterclass. It's an instant download. And so if you are interested in that, just go right there, christinesfreebook.com, christinesfreebook.com, and it is yours for free. Also, just getting this out of the way, if you are interested in working with me, I got some free trainings right here, and you would go to bit.ly/gut call to get to that. bit.ly/gut call, which looks like that. If you go to that, I've got some trainings for you, and that'll bring you right over to there, and so on. So what I wanted to do today is I want to show you a little bit about some craziness that's afoot. And this is a common thing, by the way. It's just I haven't done a video about this in a little while. And what I want to talk to you about is Miralax, okay? This is also known as polyethylene glycol. You might have heard it as called as PEG, all right? And that's what's in this product right here, which is terrible. But what I want to do is I just want to share with you one of the reasons why people are suffering when they are taking this product and why it's not addressing anything, okay? And that's a big problem because people really want solutions, right? They should at least want solutions. And I'm telling you right now, taking something like that is not the right solution. So let's just say I have a stomach right here. Okay. And I've eaten my food and it's landing in this what's called a pre-digestion stomach, pre-digestion. And this happens for about 45 minutes when you've chewed your food and you've mixed it with the enzymes, hopefully, because you're chewing your food so well. What's happening is you've now got that enzyme rich food from the digestive enzymes in your saliva, but also if you've taken something like Smart Carb, my custom formula, now you've got these 45 minutes, this pre-digestion window where your food should be near 80% digested before it even hits into the small intestine. But here's what happens. And what happens is that people are taking things like, antacids, okay? And what that's now doing is it's dropping the stomach acid, as you would think, because, anti-acid is what an antacid is. And you are missing the point of beautiful digestion because you want acid right here in the stomach. Everybody should have acid in the stomach in the presence of food. And it takes about 45 minutes, which is no surprise, for the acid to come into the stomach from your blood. So you've got hydrogen ions and chloride ions that are coming into your stomach from your blood. It takes about 45 minutes to make acid. This is a beautiful thing, and it's something that you should want. But it's not happening because you're taking these antacids. Just one quick example. So now what happens is this same person is now they're now diminishing the power of digestion. So this food that you've had sitting here is now not getting properly digested because it wasn't mixed with the proper stomach acid because you block that. So now as that food hits this small intestine, there's not a lot of bile releasing over here. And bile helps with the bowel movements, right? And so what that's going to then do is diminish your ability to poop. Can't make it any easier than that. So to say it a different way, blocking acid diminishes bile flow. Okay, and that's coming from your gallbladder. And it's made by the liver, bile is. Bile is made by your liver, stored in your gallbladder, and then squirted into the small intestine right here as this food is leaving the stomach and going into the small intestine. Now, my drawings are not to, proper sizing, but the point is taking an antacid is one of the first strikes against you that could be causing your constipation. So let's fast forward now to one of my patients. Okay. So she comes in, she's in her 50s and she has an IBS complaint. Okay. So she has diarrhea. And here's what happens. She doesn't talk to me, but she sees her medical doctor who puts her on a statin drug. Okay. He puts on her statin drug 4 months ago, but it gets worse. He also then puts her on Miralax. Now, this person already has a diarrhea propensity. But now this doctor is putting her on this garbage right here, which is going to create even more diarrhea. We just got her diarrhea fixed up, right? But she's not telling me that she's seen this other doctor that he's giving her this stuff. She doesn't need to tell me that, right? Until she suffers with 12 straight days of diarrhea over the holidays because she was taking something like this garbage, which was making her even more loose. People take Miralax for constipation, okay? A lot of people do, and I don't agree with that, but that's what this is known for. And so what I also want you to know is that this product, Miralax, is also a well-known neurotoxin. So if I could direct your attention to this over here, here we have a Facebook group. All right, I want you guys to consider getting in to be a part of this group. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Okay, I made that really big now. All right, so this is a group called Parents Against Miralax, Restoralax, Movicol, PEG, which is polyethylene glycol 3350. And look how many people are in this group. 56,000 members are in this group, okay? And what I want you to do is have a look through that group. And what they have in this group is this section where you could look at this resource guide. Okay, and this resource guide is really nice. They've done a great job here. And if I'm scrolling through, and let me just bring this up a little bigger so that you can see that. Let me see if I can go even more. Let me just read to you what this group has put together. Why did they put this together, first of all? Because so many children are being put on Miralax because kids are not properly digesting their food. Kids are not eating well at all. They're eating a lot of processed garbage. Parents don't know to put the kids on things like Smart Carb, a food enzyme. So this is creating even more sluggishness and digestion. Too many kids are eating Go-Gurt and all kinds of dairy, which is riddled with antibiotics that cow is drinking, right? And so now these kids are having constipation issues. And what do the parents do? They're treating a symptom with this garbage. All right. So this group of 56,000 people is put together because they noticed their kids were changing when they were taking this product. So let me just read a little bit here. Polyethylene glycol, PEG 3350, the main ingredient in Miralax, damages and strips the gut of good bacteria and essential short-chain fatty acids, including butyrate. Lack of butyrate is being linked to many autoimmune disorders, including autism. Science is proving that damaging the gut causes moderate to severe health problems, including anxiety, depression, violent behaviors, seizures, motor tics, skin rashes, constipation, chronic immune disorders, etc. The list goes on. And so I'm not going to go over every single thing in this document here, but what I want to show you is this is just another example of how when we treat symptoms, bad things are happening. Okay. Kim says, oh my God, so interesting. I work with kids in medical situations. Can't even begin to say how many kids are on Miralax for constipation, especially kids with paralysis issues. Yes, it is terrible. It is terrible how many kids are on this product. All right. One of my best friends, her grandkid is on this garbage. Okay. And so many kids are, but also adults. So going back to this, what I wanted to kind of make this go full circle is when it comes to kids, join that group. Again, just to kind of show you again, write this down. Search Parents Against Miralax. Okay. PEG 3350. 56,000 people are in this group because their kids have exhibited these different issues like, where was it? Like their kids have exhibited things like anxiety, depression, violent behaviors, seizures, motor tics, skin rashes, constipation. Why would that be, right? If you're watching this, you're like, oh, but it's just Miralax. It's over the counter. I can get it at any pharmacy. Yeah, that may be. But ask yourself, what in Miralax is food? All right. What in Miralax gives the body energy? What in Miralax offers a solution versus treating a symptom? Because when it really comes down to it, we have to go back to the garbage dump full of rats analogy. All right. So if I have a garbage dump and it's full of rats, clean this up a little bit here for you. If I have a garbage dump full of rats, a typical medical doctor over here is going to go after killing the rats. And me, what I'm looking for is finding out what's the root cause. Why are the rats there? Well, the rats there because of this garbage, right? So if I remove the garbage, the rats go away, because in my example, the problem is the garbage. Okay, that's the problem. Whereas the MD thinks that the garbage is the rats. And so all they are doing is treating the symptom. So when it comes to constipation in kids, adults, anything, we must really be looking at what is the root cause. What is the root cause? And that's coming from digestion. Actually, before that, it's coming from diet. It's coming from digestion. It's coming from emotional stress. Okay, it's coming from physical stress. These are the options. Okay, physical stress. Sorry, I wasn't thinking I was going to go this deep into my tablet here. It's coming from physical stress, and then with the final one is structural stress. And so this is something, some kind of a aberration to posture, the spine, that kind of thing. And why would that be relative to what's going on with constipation? Maybe you don't understand the relationship there. Simply put, your spine houses nerves. Your spine houses the spinal cord. Those nerves branch off, 31 pairs. Think of those as little like circuitry, like little wires, electricity, all right, through your nerves. And those nerves connect to your brain, and they tell the brain down the spinal cord, out to the organ, out through the nerve to the organ to tell it how to work, okay? So if you've got a kid that's had any kind of fall, I mean, we're kids, right? Learning how to walk, fell off of something, fell off your bike, maybe it could be anything like a sports injury, playing with their siblings. These types of structural stresses could be putting stress onto the nervous system, which could create constipation as well. So don't discount structural stress. Actually, that's the same thing as physical stress. So the one that I'm missing, so physical stress, structural stress, you're probably like, what is she saying? That's the same thing. So physical, structural stress. And the one that I'm missing is chemical, environmental, and nutritional. Those are kind of like a catch-all for all three of those. So what would PEG 3350 be, or Miralax? It would be this chemical stress. All right, that in and of itself could be causing constipation. So we need to get to the root cause of this. And so back up to my example of my 50-something patient, because in this discussion today, I'm talking about kids on Miralax as well as adults on Miralax. None of that is ever going to address the problem that we're talking about with the garbage dump full of rats. None of that's going to be talking about any of this. There's no solution there, right? You're just covering up a symptom. So if I'm killing the rats, but I'm not removing the garbage, the rats are going to keep coming back, right? I need to remove the garbage. It's so simple, but doctors don't think like that. They just don't. Okay. It is all about keeping you sick in many ways. Not every single doctor wants to keep you sick. I would hope to think most doctors aren't thinking that way, but they are constantly treating symptoms, and they are constantly not looking at what is nourishing the body, what is giving the body energy. Miralax does not give the body energy. It actually makes it worse, which is why you're seeing tics and seizures and anxiety and depression, because what you are doing when you treat things with these chemical solutions, all right, is you are robbing the body of all the energy available to heal. So back to my patient here. So her situation is a little bit more complex. She's taking an antacid, which is preventing proper bile flow, which is creating constipation, because what she's doing is she's thickening the bile by taking an antacid. And in the same token, you could be thinning the bile by taking an antacid. Everybody's different, right? But think of bile, just for the sake of argument. Let's just pretend bile is like a motor oil. A little bit liquid, but a little bit thick, right? If your bile becomes too thick, that's going to lead to constipation. If your bile becomes too watery, that's going to lead to diarrhea, okay? So this patient already has a propensity for diarrhea. Now her doctor gives her a Miralax, which makes even more diarrhea. And also it elevates her cholesterol. So this is the component to this statin drug that he put her on 4 months ago, is if your bile is not properly secreted into the small intestine, you have a sensor there. If the stomach contents coming into the small intestine are not very acidic, you're not going to squirt a lot of bile. Let me say that again. If the contents from the stomach are entering the intestines and they're not very acidic, your bile is not going to squirt a lot of bile. It's going to sequester away and end up spilling into your bloodstream and elevating your cholesterol. And then doctors are going to want to put you on a statin. So that's how important bile is. It neutralizes the acid. As stomach acid is acidic, bile is alkaline. It's the opposite of acid. You need bile to neutralize the stomach acid. But if you already are neutralizing the stomach acid in the stomach by taking an antacid, you are now not utilizing bile properly. Does that make sense? I hope so, because you should also understand the importance of this compound that is bile. Bile helps kill all types of different bacteria that don't belong. Bile helps to form your stool. Bile helps to give the color of your stool. And so I wanted to show you today in this video is just kind of circle back around at how when doctors just keep throwing these chemicals at you in the form of prescription drugs and over-the-counter drugs, they are messing with all of the body's natural healing rhythm. They are taking you out of homeostasis. Okay, homeostasis is huge. This is our body's natural healing rhythm. And if you are not working with doctors that support homeostatic function, you're going to want to look elsewhere, because this is everything. If the thing you are doing, look at it this way, if the thing you are doing is not supporting homeostasis, then you should consider not doing it. And so that's why I recommend a food enzyme. This is why I recommend CBD like crazy, because hemp oil, all right, especially when it's easily absorbed, because it's become water encapsulated, like the product that I carry and distribute called Swish. Things like that help to bring you to homeostasis. Food enzymes help to bring you toward homeostasis because they're helping you digest food. Taking antacids and Miralax is not going to help you with that. And it's not helping with these criteria over here as well. Food, energy, and it's definitely not a solution. So I hope that that makes sense. If anybody has any questions right now, go ahead and throw them in, and I'd be happy to answer while I'm still live here, but I don't want to take this over 20 minutes. There definitely will be a replay. And for those of you listening on my podcast, I love you. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast. Vicky says, do bile salts help with gallstones? So proper bile consistency does not create gallstones. What does create gallstones is when you are not properly utilizing that bile as it's meeting the acidic stomach contents. Let me see if I can draw this a little better. Let me erase this and try to answer that question with a drawing if I can. Okay. So again, here I have the stomach, right? And then here I have the small intestine, let's say. And then let's just pretend, for the sake of argument, that this is my gallbladder. All right. Let's just pretend that this is the gallbladder. As the acid is coming into the small intestine, your gallbladder secretes bile. That's good. That's what should happen. But when you are blocking the acid and now your stomach contents are not very acidic, you're not going to have a lot of bile secreting right here. So the bile has to go somewhere. So what happens is it starts to coagulate inside the gallbladder, and that leads to a gallstone. One of the things. This is one way. So what I'm saying is taking antacids contribute to gallstones. Absolutely. Okay. Bile salts are healthy. We need them. They don't contribute to gallstones. What contributes to gallstones is not having the proper nutrition to the liver. This is what contributes to gallstones. Not having the proper nutrition to the liver, not properly digesting food. So let me go this way. Undigested food, prescription drugs, and over-the-counter drugs like Miralax, okay? Stress. These are the things that contribute to gallstones. And that's pretty much it. So, I mean, stress are those three pathways: emotions, physical, structural, chemical, environmental, nutritional. Those are the three pathways to any sickness or disease. So I hope that that helps with that question. It's a great question. All right, let's see. Hi, Vicky. She says, should I take HCl since I am constipated often and have heartburn lately? So if you're having heartburn, you should be on a formula I have called STM. And what STM is going to help do is it's going to help to repair the mucosal lining, okay, which we want to have nice and intact. And then also I would recommend bitters. So bitters and a formula I have called STM. These are the two combo products that I use to help combat heartburn and reflux. So HCl is going to be a great food enzyme. She's talking about one of the products that I carry called HCl. It's not hydrochloric acid, by the way. It's just called HCl. Hydrochloric acid is not something you could ever take in your mouth. You would literally burn your mouth off. A drop of hydrochloric acid would put a hole through this table. So I hope that answers that question. All right, we have another question from Nancy. Doctor put my son on Sucrate. Is that something the body should make? All right, so let me just see here. Let me go over to my trusty computer because I've never heard of this, Sucrate. This is an enzyme replacement therapy providing a substitute for the sucrase enzyme in the small intestine. So again, whatever this doctor is giving you, I'm pretty certain it's not a food enzyme. So I'd like to see more about it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if this is something that you get with a prescription or what, but it's just, this is a name brand, Sucrate, okay? So you get food enzymes from foods. I am not giving you digestive enzymes with my products. Digestive enzymes are things that your body makes. And by the way, your body has an enzyme bank account. Your body has an enzyme bank account. Every time you are eating foods that have been cooked over 118 degrees Fahrenheit or been processed in such a way, you are actually losing micro days or microseconds, I should say, of your life. Every time you're eating cooked, baked, pasteurized food, you only have so many digestive enzymes in your body. So how do you add micro deposits back in? Is you take a food enzyme like Smart Carb. Okay. And if you're interested in knowing how to get that, this is my own custom formula. And you would go to Omega Digestion.com. Okay. And you would get one of my formulas called Smart Carb. There it is right there at the top. And I have 5 formulations that I've created, but the main flagship product is Smart Carb. Okay. That's what I would give your son, Nancy, is Smart Carb, not Sucrate. But great question. Awesome. Thank you, Vicki. She says, I have the bitters. Perfect. So take 2 full droppers. They don't go the whole way up. They go maybe 2/3 full. So do 2 droppers full, the best you can, right on top of your tongue. Do not dilute. Do that 15 minutes before you eat. Get STM. Take 3 caps of STM at the start of food. Vicki says, I love calling your office today, 586-685-2222. I'd like to order some of your products. I'm in Washington State. What are your hours of operation? Yeah, Vicki, we closed at 2, so you just missed us, but we're back tomorrow at 9 Eastern Standard Time, so 12 o'clock your time, okay? I would love for you to get some of our stuff, but you could also order my enzymes right online like I just showed you, and you can do that right now. We'll ship them out to you tomorrow. All right, you are very welcome. You are very welcome. All right, let's see if I missed anybody else's questions. I don't think so. So guys, just one quick second as I'm ending the live streams here today. And that is, if you are interested in being my customer for either my Smart Carb or also the CBD formula that I'm using called Swish, which is a liquid. I don't have any here in the back here. But anyways, it's a drinkable CBD. And so let me just go ahead and show you a little bit about that. If you wanted to be my customer, you would go to getsealy.com. Okay, you would go to getsealy.com and you're going to see my little picture over here. And you would just go to products. I'm sorry, you would go to shop. Select the country that you're in. And then here it is right here up on the screen. Okay. If you wanted to buy a bottle all by itself, this is a 1-month supply that you would drink 1 teaspoon. Okay. If you wanted to get a free one of these sprays, you could click one of these top 5 buttons right here. I'll do more about that. In fact, I'm doing a presentation tonight. So I hope that you'll join me tonight. And if you want that, that link for the presentation tonight, totally free. I'll be talking more about the products more in depth. Then go to www.digest.ws, like World Series. That's not what it stands for, but just think that. /CBD, all lowercase. So that's happening tonight at 7 p.m. Tuesday. This is January 11th, 2022, 7 p.m. I'll be doing about an hour presentation on that. So join me there tonight. Free presentation. I'm going to be talking more in depth about the products. CBD, we are all wired for CBD. We have 37 trillion cells, okay? We have 37 trillion cells, and we have 34 receptor sites on every single cell, 34 for CBD. On all the 37 trillion cells we have 34 receptors. That's helping to contribute to homeostasis. This is hard to read on this, but that's what we should be doing in our body. We should not be doing things like taking Miralax, okay? This is not giving you any solution nutritionally. There's nothing nutritional about polyethylene glycol. And by the way, there's a lot of PEG, polyethylene glycol, in mystery syrups, all right? Why on earth would you ever want to take a chance to create these types of problems in your kids or even you? Anxiety, depression, violent behavior, seizures, motor tics, skin rashes, constipation. If you don't want to believe a thing I'm saying, that's your right. But why do these 56,000 parents congregate in this group? Because they've been afflicted by the medical model, okay, the broken medical model. They're working with doctors who are going after the rats in the garbage dump versus working with doctors who go after cleaning up the garbage. All right, so always be looking at that. Is what I am doing giving me energy? Is what I am doing giving me nourishing nutrition? Right? Is what I am doing, is it bringing me closer to homeostasis or is it bringing me away? Is it food based, right? Is it a food? Because only nutrition normalizes function. Or is it a chemical? Because chemicals create stress. Your body has to mitigate that stress. You're putting more stress onto your liver. Is taking an antacid a food? Okay. Is taking an antacid a food? Well, I got all kinds of stuff down here. Is an antacid a food? Of course it's not. It's a chemical. And that's just one pathway to stress. Okay, so you've got emotional stress, you've got physical structural stress, you've got emotional, chemical, environmental stress. Is Febreze and Glade plugins, are those nourishing? Is that a food? It's a chemical. It could be creating some distress to your gut. So be paying attention to all of these things. I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next time. And then lastly, if you want to check me out tonight, don't forget, digest.ws/CBD, and it's all lowercase. Hope to see you there. Enjoy the rest of your day. Love yourself healthy.